Hey everyone, welcome back to Swole Journal. Today we're diving deep into a training method often overlooked but incredibly powerful, isometric training. We're talking about why pauses and holds aren't just for showing off. They are fundamental tools that can make you harder to break, building resilience and strength that translates into every lift and every movement. Your body is the experiment. Your journal is the lab. Let's unpack the science. When most people think of strength training, they picture concentric movements where the muscle shortens, and eccentric movements where the muscle lengthens under tension. But there's a crucial third component, isometrics. This is when a muscle generates force without changing length. Think about holding a heavy dumbbell at the midpoint of a curl or pushing against an immovable object. It's static, yet profoundly demanding. The immediate benefit you might feel is a burning sensation, a clear indication of metabolic stress. But what's happening physiologically goes much deeper. Firstly, isometric contractions are excellent for increasing motor unit recruitment. To be precise, they activate a high percentage of muscle fibers, especially the fast twitch fibers, which are crucial for explosive strength and hypertrophy. When you hold a heavy weight in a static position, your central nervous system has to work overtime to sustain that tension. It calls upon more and more motor units to fire, creating a greater overall activation of the muscle. This heightened neural drive can improve your ability to recruit these fibers in dynamic movements, leading to greater strength. Consider the force-velocity curve. In dynamic movements, there's an inverse relationship between force and velocity. The faster you move, the less force you can generate. Isometrics occur at zero velocity, meaning they allow for the potential to generate maximal force. By training your muscles to produce this maximal force in a static position, you're essentially teaching your nervous system to fire more efficiently and more completely. This enhanced neural efficiency is a game changer. It means when you go back to your squats or deadlifts, your body is better prepared to recruit all available muscle fibers, especially at sticking points where force production is critical. Another key mechanism is the impact on joint stability and tendon strength. When you hold a weight statically, particularly at end ranges of motion or challenging mid-ranges, you're putting significant stress on the surrounding connective tissues. This stress, when applied progressively, signals to your body to adapt by strengthening tendons and ligaments. Stronger tendons can transmit force more efficiently and are more resilient to injury. Improved joint stability, especially around vulnerable areas like the shoulders, knees, and hips, is invaluable for preventing injuries and allowing you to lift heavier and safer in the long run. This is why isometric holds are fantastic for prehabilitation and rehabilitation. They allow you to strengthen a muscle at specific joint angles without the risk of dynamic movement, which might be compromised. Furthermore, isometrics can break through sticking points. Every lifter has them. That point in the bench press where the bar always stalls, or the bottom of a squat where you feel weakest. By incorporating isometric holds at or just above these sticking points, you can overload that specific range of motion. This targeted overload forces your muscles and nervous system to adapt to generating maximal force precisely where you usually fail. Over time, that weakness becomes a strength, and your sticking point vanishes. You become harder to break at your most vulnerable positions. Let's also talk about muscle hypertrophy. While dynamic movements are paramount for muscle growth, isometrics contribute by increasing time under tension. The longer a muscle is under tension, the greater the metabolic stress and mechanical tension, both key drivers of hypertrophy. When you pause and hold, you eliminate momentum, forcing the muscle to do all the work from start to finish and for the duration of the hold. This prolonged tension can lead to greater muscle damage and subsequent repair, fostering growth. It also improves muscle-mind connection, teaching you to truly feel and engage the target muscle. So how do you practically implement this? Let's get specific. For strength development, integrate isometric holds into your main lifts. For example, during a squat, descend, pause at the bottom for 3 to 5 seconds, then explode up. Or for a bench press, lower the bar, pause 2 to 3 inches above your chest for 2 to 3 seconds, then press. For exercises like rows, you can pause at the peak contraction for 3 to 5 seconds, squeezing the scapulae together. Aim for 2 to 3 sets of these isometric holds per exercise, 1 to 2 times per week. The key is to use a challenging weight around 70 to 85% of your 1 rep max for that exercise. The effort should be near maximal for the duration of the hold. For hypertrophy, use slightly lighter weights, perhaps 60 to 75% of your 1 rep max, but extend the hold duration. For example, a mid-range hold for 10 to 20 seconds at the hardest part of a bicep curl or tricep extension, really focusing on squeezing the muscle. You can also incorporate yielding isometrics, where you slowly lower the weight and then hold it at a specific point for an extended period, maximizing time under tension and metabolic stress. Do this for 2 to 3 sets, 1 to 2 times per week, perhaps as a finisher or an accessory movement. Remember, the goal is to feel the muscle working intensely throughout the entire duration of the hold. Rest periods are also crucial. For maximal strength isometric holds, you'll need longer rest, 2 to 3 minutes, to allow for full recovery of your nervous system. For hypertrophy-focused holds, shorter rest periods, 60 to 90 seconds, will enhance the metabolic stress. Isometric training isn't a replacement for dynamic lifting. It's a powerful complement. It's a precise tool to target weaknesses, build robust joint stability, increase neural drive, and enhance your overall strength and resilience. By incorporating intelligent pauses and holds, you're not just building bigger muscles, you're building a stronger, more bulletproof body, one that is truly harder to break. If this helped, subscribe to Swole Journal and start tracking what actually works.